All right, we're going to build some stuff, and I'm not sure how I want to start. Uh, Actually, I am sure how I want to start. I'm going to start this way. I'm going to build a Vaadin app first. So let me grab a new window. And I'm doing Spring Boot, but this time I'm going here. I'm logged in, so I get a few cool options. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna change this to, yeah, live stream. That's the name of my project, and I'm gonna call this dev.deshawn.ui. Let's just call it simple. All right, let's just do this. Cool. Simple UI. I'm going to put the menu at the top. Yeah, because I'm not going to do a whole lot. No, I like the side. Side looks better. I'm not going to do anything. Java 17. I'm going to use some defaults. I don't need it to create a repository for me. And then I'm going to go over here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to have it. I'm not going to do that either. I'm going to go over here to the theme. I'm going to change the colors. I like the dark theme a little bit better. I'm going to use that simple palette. Good. But I'm going to change all these to large because I want everybody to see. So that's the typography is large. I'm going to make these round, not raised. And I'll leave it like that. And then for sizing and spacing, I'm going to make that large. And for the views, that's all I'm going to do right now for the views. And that's it. I'm going to generate that. Download. Very similar to what we do with start.spring.io. And now let's go over here. Where am I? Let's go to fun, Sean, stream. I did one just a second ago. Let's get rid of that one. And let's unzip the one that we just made. Simple UI. And let's go in there and open that up. I don't really need to open it up. I just want to talk about a couple of things. So I think I can build it from here. This is just an example. You can follow along. This is kind of a default setting for me. I'm new to Vaadin, and now I'm just a massive fan. I like it a lot. So this is the way I can start up UI, and I can feel like, hey, this is ready to go to production. But it's still Spring, right? What they're doing is delivering a Spring experience for me, and I like that, and I appreciate that. That makes me happy. All right, so now we've got a UI. Let's take a look. Let's go ahead and start it. So one of the things that I know that they do is in their POM. Let's look at this. Java 17, the latest version of Vaadin. They're using the latest version of Spring as well. But at the bottom, they do this thing that I like, where they have a default goal of Spring Boot run. So all I have to do is here m./mdnw, and I'm going to get an app. And I'm going to go here and look in source resources. That's the app that I just built. It looks just like I wanted it to look like, right? We did this. We're in good shape. There's tutorials and all that kind of stuff. But I'm not going to go. I'm not a front end person. I like this for the bootstrap. So let's take a look. I've got Hello World and I've got an About. Okay, this is intentionally left blank. It's a place where you can grow your UI. Cool. So I've got an app. I have a front end app. What do I want to do? I want to go in here into the properties. Now it's starting on 8081 or 8080. I think I'm thinking that that's okay for my local development. That works. But one other thing that I want to do is, if I wanted to change that port later on, I want to take another step. Oh, here's another thing. One thing that they don't do that I know is they don't have the actuator endpoint. Like if I'm going to deploy this to production, I want to know that it works. So I want to add, and this is one of those features of Spring Boot where I don't have to really think about it a whole lot. I'm going to go here and I'm going to add the actuator. I'm going to just put it in front because it should be in front, right? It's one of those things. Well, not there. Oh, this. Oh, wait, I didn't do it. I don't need to. I can go like this. Dependency. I know group ID is org spring framework.boot. And the artifact ID is spring boot starter actuator. Yeah, that's it. So let me go and grab that. So what I don't have on my port 8080, I go over here and I do HTTP 8080 actuator health. I don't have one of these right now. It's like, hey, yeah, that's not there. And it's giving me, let's go take a look and see what that's at. So instead of the hello endpoint, I want actuator health. It says, hey, it's not there. And it's giving me some useful information. But I just added that endpoint. So let's go back. Let's stop it. That's all I did was add the actuator to give me some sense of, are you up and running? I'm going to do the same thing, but now I've got the actuator endpoint. Cool. And now let's go to /actuator health. Just that. I can do a lot of things with just that one simple addition. That's it. All right. Now we have an app. We have a front end app that works. And that took us all of like 7 minutes. So what does this do? Deshaun. If I say hello, it says hello, Deshaun. That's cool. So I have hello world and I have about. Let's go and make some changes here. This place intentionally left blank. Where is that at? This place. Let's start something special. It's a great time to be a Spring developer. Let's see what that looks like. Now, if I was awesome, I would be doing my dev tools, but I don't plan to stay in this UI for very long. I'm gonna make some changes. Cool, let's go to the about page. This serves up good. I can make edits. Fantastic, and I've got a working UI. Now I want to get into something a little different. Front end is usually talking about back end. This hello world is just local, but I want to build a back end. So let's go do that. This time we are going to use the Spring CLI. Let me show that. I'm using github.com Spring projects experimental. I'm using this project. I'm using it so much. I like it so much that it's got an alias and I'm just running it locally because it's slick. And I'll show you why. I'm going to build a backend for this. I'm going to use initializer new. And the path is, wait, am I on the right path? Yeah. Let's do simple backend. And we're going to use Maven, Java 3.1, the latest. We'll give some defaults. I'm going to change this to dev.deshaun.service and simple service. And yeah, default demo, sure, package name, dev.deshaun.service.simple. And I want the actuator. And I want web. Should I just do that for now? No. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do config client and discovery client. Oops, not that one. That one. Just examples. This is what I'm doing. So now we're set as a jar. So now you're like, hey, what was all that about? Let's go into that simple backend. Well, I added those things. When I'm building something, I would like to say that I start with security, but I start with config. So that's why I went that way. Let's do this again. Let's do a Spring. We're going to initialize a new project. And we're just going to take some defaults. Config server. Maven. Java 3.10. Yeah, we do that. Group dev.sean.service. Config-service. Sure. Description. Packaging dev.sean.service.config. And all I need here is config server and actuator. I think that's it. I think that's all I do right now. Banner jar 17. So let's do that one real quick. Let's go to the config server. There's really only one thing I need to do here. And there's actually a container that we could just like make and deploy, which is cool. And maybe I should see if I can take this all the way. The only thing I need to do to turn this thing on is go in here to my application, and I just need to enable config server. So now this thing is going to run on, well, I'm going to tell it to server.port 8888. So let's see what happens here. If I do nvmw spring boot run, I've got a config server, but I didn't tell it where I want to get configs from. So what I like to do is I want to give it a GitHub repo. I've got a simple GitHub repo out here that I use for configs. GitHub dev.sean.config. So I'm going to say, hey, go get your configurations from this repo. And to do that, I'm going to say spring cloud config server.get.uri equals that. So now when it loads up, it's going to say, oh, I'm going to go and read this Git repository to serve out configurations. That makes sense. It makes sense to me. nw spring boot run. Now it started on 8888. Well, what does that mean? That means if an application goes to localhost 8888, well, we can see yes, because I put the actuator there, it should be up and running. But it also is giving me application defaults. If something asks, it's going to get these properties assigned to it. Management endpoints. Sweet. So now let's do something special. Let's go over here and let's do some changes. Here in my application properties, I want my UI to get some of those properties. I want my UI to get some of those properties. So here, what I want to do is I want to make some properties. What is this? Okay, that's cool. So instead of putting my properties here, I'm going to put my properties in my Git repo. So in order to do that, I'm going to make a config client. And all I have to do is kind of copy and paste because I already added that over here. So in my config server is good. Simple backend, cat that palm. And we'll see that I've got this, not the Eureka client. I could do that too. I could add the Eureka client and the config client. So what is that going to do? Well, let's take a look. So in that simple UI, I added the actuator. Now I'm going to add the Spring Cloud Starter config and Spring Cloud Starter Netflix Eureka client. So to my front end app, I'm adding 2 more pieces. And my front end, I want my front end to talk to Spring Cloud config. What's the property? Oh, it'll tell me. Watch this. It'll tell me. So I'm going to go back to my terminal. I'm going to stop my app. And I'm going to say, hey, let's do this again. And it's going to fail. It's going to say, hey, you know what? Oh, I need the Spring Cloud bomb. So let me add one more piece. I need to tell my Spring Cloud version. I'll throw that into my properties. Hello. And I need to add my dependency management for Spring Cloud. That's where we get those. And I'll put those right here. Okay, so just like Vaadin does, we've made a way to get all the Spring Cloud properties. Let's try that again. How do I miss it this time? Oh, right. I can do this. Just clean up. It's XML. It's not YAML. It's XML. All right, now it says, hey, I want to do this. So let's give it this property. I want to import some configs. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah. I want you to get your property from localhost 8888. That's where our config server is running. Now it's going to run. Now it's going to say, hey, you know what? I got my configs, but I'm trying to connect to this discovery server. That's what all this is. I'm trying to connect this discovery server, and I don't see one. It's looking for one on just like this. This is looking for localhost 8888 by default. The discovery, the Eureka client is looking for a discovery server. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do the same thing. So let's make one of those. Initialize your new. We're just making another. We're making microservices. It doesn't have to be like this. This is just an example of some of the cool stuff that you can do. Disco server. We use Maven. Java 3.10 version. The group dev.sean.service.discovery. No. Service. Discovery service. Name, sure. dev.sean.service.discovery. And I want, of course, the actuator. I want config client. And I want Eureka, the server. I think that's it. Let's go with that. So now let's go look at our Disco server. This is just another service. And this is a carryover, but it's flexible. So the reason I like these Spring Cloud services, like the config server and discovery service, is because I can do development like I'm doing now. on my dev box, I can have ports assigned, and I can have different applications running on different ports, and I can have ports assigned randomly, but they can still talk to each other. It's a way to have applications talk to each other without needing to know their address. That's what the Discovery server and the Eureka service is providing. So let's take that for a spin. The first thing I'm going to tell it, I think it starts up on by default. Oh, I need to make one change. I have to say that enable Eureka server. Okay, that's it. Spring boot run. What does it say? Oh, it says, hey, you set a config service, but you didn't give me one. So it's that same thing. Well, let's make that happen. Say, hey, if you're going to get your configs, let's go get them from here. Just give it one simple property. And you know what? I'm going to give it another one. Spring.application.name equals discovery service. So that's how when it registers and when it asks for information, it's going to get defaults, but anything specific for this app, for instances of this app, they're going to get it under with this name, Discovery Service. All right, let's try that out. I hope the audio is okay. I have had audio problems before. So now it says 8080 was already in use. So let's give it that new server.port equals 8761. It knows that's the port that we normally run this on. So let's try that again. Bopped it. There we go. So we got some configs. It did its test. It's up and running on 8761. Now, this service has something special. It's got a nice little UI. So let's go to localhost 8761. And we can see that, hey, there's my Discovery service. If I was trying to talk to other services and they were registered here, I'd know how to get to them. And it says, hey, there's one of them, and here's the address. Excellent. Excellent. So we got some stuff. I'm going to slide this one over because we're going to come back to that. We're going to do the same thing. Now we're going to go back to our UI app. And I want my UI app to do all this. I want it to be cloud native. I want it to be 12-factor. I want to be able to run it on Kubernetes. But I got to take some baby steps to get there. So over here, I'm going to cancel this. So this one's going to start up on 88. I'm going to leave that one. I'm going to leave the UI on 8080. That makes sense. That's kind of a standard. I'm going to do one more step. So it's getting its configs, but what? Spring.application.name. And we're going to call this simple UI. So that's the application that's going to get its information about. And I added the Spring Cloud dependencies. I added the starter client or the config client and the Eureka client. So now when I restart this app, the only thing I changed here was the application properties. But now when I restart this app, I expect to see a simple UI app over here. I expect to see it register itself and say, hey, if you're trying to talk to the simple UI, this is where I'm at. That's what I want. So let's do that. I'm not sure what that is. I said, go get your configs for simple UI. I said, okay, cool. I can do that. It talked. I can see it talked over to the config service. And somewhere down here, it should say, hey, oh, there it is. I registered myself. So now when I go over here, I hit refresh. I can see that, hey, there's my simple UI. I don't need to know what port it's running on. I have an address right here. It's telling me. So I got, as you can see, as I got a bunch of services, microservices that are talking to each other, this is a way that they can figure themselves out. Now, if you're running on Kubernetes, Kubernetes has its own discovery service, but we're not running on Kubernetes. I can use this discovery service on Kubernetes and locally on my box. Funky Waddle, thanks for joining. I am just practicing, just going through some stuff, talking about Spring Boot, Spring Cloud, and just practicing. I have no goal, but I am going to stream, and I'm going to stream for a while tonight. So thank you for joining. Does everything sound okay? Does everything look okay? What I've done so far, I started by creating a simple UI, and it looks like this. Here's my front end app. I used Vaadin to kind of generate this. So I didn't pick out colors. There was themes, and my front end does a little bit. Okay, cool. That's my front end. I got a bunch of these instances open. I'm going to close a couple. Then I made a config service, a way for me to give configurations to my app. So if I wanted to change, let's go back to my app. Right, if I want to change something, I want to make something configurable on these pages. This is probably a good example of something I can make configurable. I can give those configs to the config server, and when it starts up and say, hey, you're in the test environment, use these configs. When you go to prod, use these configurations to talk to the prod database or to get the prod branding. But I can set that in the configuration, and I can use the same image across these different environments. So that's the key. That's what I'm doing. So I now have a couple of projects started, and I've done this all in 26 minutes. I have a front end app that starts up. It's starting. That front end registers itself at first. It asks the config server, which is pointing towards this GitHub repository with configs. Then it gets it. So what my application is doing is looking for sample UI. And what it's getting is just these management properties. Fantastic. But after that, it registers itself with the Eureka server. So if any other service is trying to figure out where the front end is, it talks to Eureka. It gets a directory of all the microservices that are available, that are registered, and it knows how to get to them. And we can do interesting things from there as well, like client-side load balancing. So if you can imagine, actually, let's just do the back end. Let's get the back end here, and let's talk about it a little bit more. I kind of want my config server to register, but I'm doing config first, so it doesn't really matter. So I have a front end that's configurable. It's registering itself. Let's go and look at this backend app. We have a discovery service and a config service. These are the things that I built so far. Config server, disco server. I created this simple backend, but I haven't done anything with it. Let's do that now. Simple backend. Let's take a look at the POM. We've got some cool stuff. We have our actuator. It's ready to rock. So just with this, I've got Spring Cloud Starter config and Spring Cloud, the Eureka client. So it's going to get configs from where I'm serving them from, and it's going to register itself with the discovery service. But in order to do that properly, we just need to say, hey, what's your name? Server, what's your name? So first of all, let's do this on a different port. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to say port equals 0. I don't care which port that you run on, because I'm going to find out your address through the discovery server. So what I'm doing here is I'm saying, hey, I don't care which port you run on, just pick one. I'm going to say spring.application.name equals simple backend. That's it. Oh, nope. I want to tell it to go get its configs. So I do that one extra step. I say, hey, I'm going to get my configs here locally. Like, this is where I'm going to go. Optionally, go get some configs from this guy. And I can change that. I can set those properties as I change environments, and I can override these. So that's all I need to do right now. Spring boot run. Now Spring Boot normally runs on 8080, but we told it port 0. And what we expect to see, what we expect to see here is, hey, it's going to go talk to the config service, connect to the config service, and then it's going to say, okay, I got my configs. Now let me register myself. I'm ready to start taking traffic. So let me register myself with the discovery server. So what I expect to see over here is now I've got a way. I've got my back end. I've got my front end. I've got my discovery service that's connecting the dots. So now my front end knows how to get a hold of my back end. That's pretty cool. And all my front end has to do is know the name back end. Now I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to open up another. I think I can do this. Oh, I think it'll make a new classes dir. So I won't do that. I was going to start up another instance of that, but I won't do that. But you know what I will do? I'm going to do a second backend, right? A second thing. So let's go to Spring. I'm just going to build a new, this new experimental project. Spring CLI is cool. And it's going to bring the vibes that you get from other frameworks, from other projects, like NPM and .NET and others, right? The .NET new create type of stuff. So you have this cool and getting better every day experience. So look, I have a built-in help menu that tells me all the cool things I can do. And it's built on Spring Shell, which I'm a fan of. But right now, it also has this autocomplete. We're going to create a new project. And we're going to call it second backend. Yeah. We're going to build it in Maven, Java, the latest and greatest. We're going to give it dev.sean.service for its group and second service. Name, description, package, dev.sean.service.second. And of course, we're going to give it the actuator. This gives me those production properties, the things that I want, the things that I expect when I'm going to production. Actuator. I also want the config client and Eureka client. I want to register it. And this time, let's do an H2 database. Oh, I didn't do that. Can I go back? Oh, wait, I did. Oh, man. All right, here, I'm going to do this again. I'm going to hit cancel. Wait, I'm going to do Spring because I want to add a few things here. Ooh. And I couldn't go back. That I know how to go back anyways. Initialize renew. Let's try the exact same thing. Second service. Maven, Java, we're doing the exact same thing. Sure, default dev.sean.service. This is code generation. I'm not coding. This is code generation. Artifact, second service. These are just naming conventions. Name, description, dev.sean. These are my naming conventions. Service, second. And again, these are my defaults. Like this is the way I build things. I want production ready features. I want that config client. I want the Eureka client. And I said I wanted H2. And last time I hit enter, but I'm going to hit space this time. Is there anything else I want to do here? You know what? Let's do this. Let's do I'll do resource server. So this is going to make it tricky. So we're going to secure it, and we're going to say, hey, you've got to be, you got to have access to this, and maybe we'll get to that. So let's quit. Now I've got this other service, second service. I got a bunch of these windows open, and that's okay. Like having your own discovery service locally, I've done it. I like it. It's great. having your own configs. The way that I do things on this box is different than the way I do things on that box. So having a config service for the different environments that you work in, your laptop, your daily driver, your other, that makes sense. It makes sense to me. I don't know, what's your take? How many different environments do you work in a day? Right now I'm connected to 3 different screens on 3 different computers. For an example, Mac, Windows. Why don't I have a Linux screen? But yeah, there's Linux box over there. And there's another one on the way, which I'm very excited about. So this time we're going to do just a handful of things. My project's already built. Fantastic. All right, my properties. I'm going to tell the same thing, server.port. I don't care which port it's on. Just find one that's open. This one is called second service. You know, when I was thinking about the stream and just trying to do the things that I thought I was going to do, I thought it was going to be a lot longer, but Spring Boot makes these things pretty easy. So we're going to have to do some like real code, and I'm going to have to figure some stuff out that's not easy. So let's do this. Indian W Spring. Oh, I forgot one piece. Do you remember what it is? I forgot that I have my config client, actuator, my resource server, my config client. I want to get some configs. So let's just go grab this line because I always forget. It's community service. Those properties, it doesn't matter which order they're in. All right, we're all set. So now, W Spring Boot run. I don't have to worry about conflicts. Oh, what happened? Failed to process import candidates. I did something because I added the OAuth, I believe. So I think all I have to do to fix this is at enable. Wait, where's that? Oh, did that change? Oh. I don't know the property, so let's go look it up. So we're getting into some code. It used to be at enable resource server. Let me just try that again, because I think that's the right one. At enable resource server. That's definitely not it. And I'm getting that from this OAuth to resource server. So let's go to our box, our projects. Let's go to, maybe it's under Spring Security. Where does it live? Authorization server. Funky Waddle says, I use 2 environments, one Linux, one Windows, using Amazon Workspaces. I wish it was just one, but the second one is for work, so it's mandatory. I get it. I have many environments, and I want to find Spring Boot source server. Not there. I want the latest and greatest. Is that the latest and greatest? All right, let's take a look. I'm looking for that annotation that turns it on. You know what? I have an example. I don't need to look there. I can kind of peek. I think I've done this, but it might have changed. It might have changed, and that's why I'm having a problem. And that's why it's good to practice, right? Here's an example. Again, this is from a long time ago. I didn't do that. Just simply by having that resource server there, I didn't need anything else, but I did need to configure something. I need to tell it where it goes and gets its configs. So we'll do that too. We'll do that too. We've got time. So we're back here. We're back in our second service, and our second service needs to know, like, hey, you said I'm a protected resource. Well, where do I get that? Let's convert this to a YAML. So I can copy and paste. Let's do this. There. Let's convert these. Is there a way to convert to? Let's just Control X, Control V. No, it didn't work. So let's just do it. Server. We're converting dot properties to server port 0. Spring application name is second service, and then Spring. I like to put these in alphabetical order. Config import. Boom. So yeah, hopefully you're following along. I'm making this so I can move between environments, making it a little bit easier. I think that's okay. So let's see if this works. We just added properties. We didn't do anything else. I didn't need this. That's old school. That's old school, Deshaun. So let's run it. Now, what this is saying, what we just told this application is, hey, this is my name, second service. I want to get my configs from here, but also I got some security stuff. And if you want to work with me, you want to use me, you've got to get authorized. You got to give me a JWT from this service. So let's see what's happening here. So is it going to say, hey, this, why is that saying that? What did I do? I have second service. Exception encountered during context initialization. Canceling refresh attempt. Failed to import candidates for config. Okay. Class path. It's trying to get some config, but it can't be open because it doesn't exist. So maybe. I'm just reading to try to figure out, like, what's the clue? What am I missing? File not found exception. Oh, I need web. I didn't add web. Okay, so the error there was beneficial. Dependency. The group is org.spring framework.boot, and the artifact is Spring Boot Starter Web. That's it. That was. It's late, but it's late, and I'm going to do this anyways. Spring Boot run. So in the YAML file, why don't you need to split up the optional config server path? That is the property. That is what it's saying. It's saying this is an optional config server, and here it is. So it's not a separate property. That's the value of the property of that import. So let's go back here. So this whole thing is the value of this import. And those are the options for that property. All right, so now this thing has started up. This second service that is secure. We said, hey, you've got to be authenticated via OAuth. You need to bring me a JWT signed by this service, but we don't have that service. But let's see if everything else is working as expected. That was where we copied stuff from. That's where we got our info. Yeah, that's our config server. And this is the UI. This is the user interface for my config server. So if I want to give, let's do this. If I want to create new file, and I want to give, this file is second service.yaml. And I want to give it some configurable, I'm just going to do this property. This is okay. I'm going to commit this. This is my interface for making changes. I've got an audit log. I made a change to a configuration for second service. Now watch. When anybody calls my local host, 8888, saying that, hey, I am second service. What are my default properties? It says, hey, well, you got property sources here from this file, from the second service YAML, and here's your property, your configurable property, and here's your configured property value. But beyond that, we've got some defaults. So any application getting configs from here is going to get these defaults. Turn on the management endpoints, show the details of health, show the components, and expose all of those endpoints. So anybody is going to get those from here, but I can override. These are first. So if I make specifics, let's do that. Let's say show details. I'm going to say false. I'm going to change this property just for second service. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to say, hey, second service, edit. I'm going to do it like this. Oop, not that. I'm going to do it like this, embed, so I can copy paste. And from application YAML, it says, hey, we're going to do this. But I'm going to say, hey, you know what? For second service, we're not going to roll like that. Endpoints are not going to be enabled. Commit those changes. So now, when somebody asks second service for the defaults, let's look at what it does. It says management enabled by default false. So these are the application specific or the generic application, but this is what's going to happen. Those endpoints are not going to be enabled here because this is specific to second service. So it's going to go from the bottom up. This one will override the bottom one. So now my application, my second service application here is up and running. It didn't get those properties because it loaded them once. So it doesn't know. Right now, it doesn't know about its new properties. Right now, it doesn't know. So right now, if I go to second service protected. So let's see what this, I'm not going to ask it here. I'm not going to look at logs. Let's go over here to discovery. Let's see. Second service registered itself here. It says 401. It's not authorized. I didn't give it a JWT telling me or telling it who I am. So I can't see it. It's registered. That's where you go get it. That's where you go talk to that second service, but you got to authenticate first. So let's do that. Let's go build an authorization server. How hard can that be, right? Now, there's not a simple, like out of the box from start.square.io. So what's the way I want to do this? Because I've done it before, and because I watched Rob Winch, like this is kind of like, it's a couple of steps, but once you've done it, you get massive value. So yes, it's a little bit harder than turning on basic security off, username, password kind of thing, but you get a whole lot more value out of it. So let's go do that. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna make an auth server. Making all the things. So now we're configured. We're gonna be 12 factor. We're gonna do all the things. So let's start here, Spring. And let's do the initialize renew. And let's make it Maven, Java 3.10. Yeah. Group is dev.sean.service. Convention. Artifact is authorization. I'm just going to call it auth service. Name good default. Package name dev.deshawn.service.auth. In here, I want auth. Authorization server. Is that right? I definitely want the actuator, and I want the config client, and I want the Eureka discovery client, because I want these things to all talk to each other. Is there anything else that I want? I think I'm going to put an H2 database in there, and that's it. I think that's it. Cool, jar. Boom. So now, this is how I'm going to handle security. I'm going to have a place where I can set my roles, my usernames, and all that good stuff, so that I can access these things. So let's go into, let's quit here. Service. Now, I'm going to do a bunch of cheat here. I'm not going to write a bunch of code because I don't want to write code. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and look, and there's like an example. The team authorization Spring Boot. They gave me like a starter pack. Spring Boot authorization server. Now here's the cool thing. You know what? I better look. I better look just to see, because what I would like is I would like if the Spring CLI had a way of setting up authorization. And we can always do this. We can always add. And I haven't ran those. But watch this. Look, I have this catalog. Oh, wait, I only have the one catalog. Why? This is all my stuff. I can go and add things from this catalog. What are my projects? Oh, it might be in here. Web, JPA, scheduling, config, client, Eureka, GraphQL, Modulith. See, I think it's just a matter of time before this. What it's doing is it's taking these examples straight out of the docs, and it's allowing you to create a project using those docs or add projects using those docs. All right, so note to self, note to everybody, we'll add a Spring authorization server to that later. There we go. Peek here. All right. Just doing some maintenance there. So now I have an authorization server. Did I start that up already? Yes, I did. So we're going to do the same thing. we're going to say, hey, I want you to start up. And let's go with the YAML. Yeah, because we're going to need to. You have to rename Spring application name. Now, remember over here on our second service backend, it said, hey, sorry, I'm going to change this. I'm going to cancel because of my naming conventions. Service. Service. Cool. So now it's going to do the same thing. It's going to start, but it's looking for something from auth service instead of auth server. And on port 9000, I think that's doable. So let's go over here and we know what to do. Yeah, we can take that over to auth server. That was a happy accident. Auth service. And we're going to say, hey, you're running on 9000. Excellent. I don't know all these things off the top of my head. There's so much that the Spring team has done for me that I don't have to think a whole lot about this. So I was Googling for, here, they've got these getting started. So this is the current. Let's go ahead and get the docs up because I'm going to need this, I think. We have samples, the demo. There's a starter project. Wait, what? Interesting. Oh, okay. They're just saying you can use, okay, get it. So to get started, you need the minimum required components defined as a bean when using the Spring Starter authorization server. So that's what we're using, Spring Boot Starter OAuth 2 authorization server. Let's make sure that I did that right. Good. And now, define the following properties. Spring Boot will provide the necessary bean definitions. If you want to customize the default configuration, regardless of whether it's reboot, you can define the minimum variables as a bean in Spring configuration. I think this is the copy paste here. Yep. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to copy this, which is just a security config class. I'm going to do it slightly different. I'm going to just throw it in here in my same boink, and I'm going to change one thing. It's okay. I'm going to move all this. Okay, we're good. So now it says, oh, I think that was a copy pasta. Yeah, I don't think I need that. So it's got these buttons here, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got to get rid of 6, 7, and 8. I copied over here. On that. I'm going to figure out what that's supposed to be real quick. That's okay. Let's get rid of the dupes. Okay, hopefully that worked. We're down here. Got that. Get rid of this guy. Right, I got some sane defaults. Now, just this part. So when I was talking about the Spring CLI, it'd be nice if I got this. I can say, initialize a starter with security and auth service, and just get the defaults. We can modify things from there. So let's take a look at what this is doing. Actually, it's documented right here. So what it's saying, hey, a Spring security filter chain for the protocol endpoints. Redirect the login page when not authenticated from the authorization endpoint. Accept access tokens for the user info and/or client registration. For login handles redirect to the login page. We have a default user password with role of user. We're also setting up an OIDC client. And that client has redirect and post logout redirect URI. And I think that'll work. So I think that'll work. Okay. Memory register client. Okay, that's cool. JWK source. I have no idea what this is. A key pair. Oh, this is how we're generating the JWTs, I'm guessing. Same with the keys. And here's our decoder and our settings. And these settings are probably coming from up here. So should I take these settings and throw them into, now here's the cool part. I'm going to take these settings. I'm not going to put them here. The only thing I'm going to put here, actually, I'm going to leave that. But what I'm going to do for this example is I'm going to take these settings and I'm going to put them into my authorization service configs. So over here, I don't have one here, so I'm going to make a new file. Create new file. Auth service.yaml. I'm going to paste those properties in there so that when it gets its configs, it's going to go and say, hey, how should I configure my security? And this is what it's going to get. Excellent. Commit those changes. Auth service. So I just need to make sure that here it's named auth service. So when it asks my config server for auth service default, it says, hey, I know how you're supposed to be configured. Excellent. What is this here? Oh, we can clear that. What is this over here? Oh, we're done with that. All right, now, let's give our configs. We want to give it these simple additional things. Hey, I do want configs. Auth service wants configs. And here's where it's going to get it. Did we register the auth service? We have the actuator. We have the auth server. We have config and client. Is there anything else that we needed? I don't think so at the moment. So let's start that up. And run. It's, remember, I think I put it in here. It's starting up on port 9000. I could have configured that over here, but I didn't. So let's see what it did. It should have started up and said, hey, I'd like to get some configs. And then got its configs. It says, hey, we're going to secure stuff. It's going to do its security filter chain stuff. And then after it's done there, it's going to say, hey, I would like to register. So I expect to see now, Eureka, I have an auth service. So that's wonderful. So now let's take a look. What happens on port? Let's let's do this. What happens on simple backend port 0? Let's go on that. Okay, still an error page. What I want, I can do it this way. 9,000. I say, hey, I would like to log in. Oh, we're going to go deep here. I'd like to log in. User password. I'm in. Okay, continue. So it went to question mark continue, which there's nothing really there. I did get a JWT. Did it put it in my session? It did. So now I'm authenticated, and now I can see my second service. Right? Did I do that right? Let's go double check. Second service. No, that was a different one. All right, so I didn't. So what I want to do is I want to capture that token. So now let's do something. We're adding all sorts of stuff. I have my auth service, my description service. I'm authenticated. My auth service doesn't have a whole lot going on in it, but I am authenticated when I go back to my auth service. Oh no. Okay, so I don't have a session. Oh, I'm on accessing a different. Okay. I don't have anything to access, but I'm there. I'm authenticated. I didn't get redirected. Okay, cool. So let's take a step back and let's go look at what would be nice is if I had some security here. If I could authenticate, let's take a look and see if we can do that real quick. Start. Fun. I want to check if I can do this security access control settings. Default access is public. Yep. So I'm going to make this public and the hello world users with user role. Okay. I thought there was a way. I think it does it. So, because I added this, I think this is going to give me a username and password. Yes, excellent. So let's download that. We're going to download it next to, and we're just going to take a look and see what the differences are. Oh, it's probably got some UI. We didn't make a lot of changes. So let's just use this one. Right? It was easy enough. So let's go. We're going to go over to our simple UI. You know what I am going to do? I'm actually going to rename it here. But that's all. Simple UI. No, I'm going to do all the things. Let me just do this real fast. Let's change our theme, dark. We want everything to be nice and large so we can see it. Look at this. Hello, icon. We're building stuff. I think this stuff might resonate with you. Yes, my mic is back. I appreciate you. And can you send me your social media contact info via Discord? I have a Java dude who needs your tutelage. Yes, and just a reminder, I'm going to be in Detroit next week. I sent you a whisper on Twitch. We've got to connect. I sent you my phone number. So let me hook you up. Actually, I can do that here. Let me do it for everybody. I am twitter.com/Deshaun. Yes, I am github.com/Deshaun. I am gitlab.com/Deshaun. Better. Watch this. I'm Deshaun.com. There's all my socials, my Twitter, my Mastodon, my Twitter, or no, that's GitHub, Twitter, my Stack Overflow, my Twitch, my YouTube channel. What's this? My Docker Hub and my calendar. You can throw stuff on my calendar. It's all there. It's all there. That ought to be easy. I am Deshaun at Deshaun.com. So I give you Java Grunt, Deshaun, samesies. Somebody was squatting on my Deshaun username on Twitch, because the problem is I started over on Mixer. On Mixer, I was Deshaun, but then somebody slid in. Mixer went away, and I was lost. I had a place to stream. That's what happened. All right, so socials. Your person that needs tutelage is taken care of. We need to connect for next week. And now we've got this new app. We're going to make things large. We're making a UI. Hello, click the button. There we go. So that's we want all the big stuff so we can see it. We're going to make it rounded. And we're going to make the spacing large, because we're going to turn this into a mobile app. Why is that button not clicking? There we go. And settings, we're going to leave the views. Good. And it says users with the user role are required to see the hello world. About is going to be public. Wait, I can do a template here. Yeah, we're good. And settings, simple UI, group ID, dev.deshaun.ui, side menu, good. All those other things are good. I don't want to get repository, and I don't want to random port. So let's build that. Simple UI. We're just going to replace it. Replace. We know what we did. Monkey Waddle, we're glad you came here to Twitch. I'm glad. Thank you. That means a lot. It means a lot. I appreciate you. I appreciate you hanging out with me. We're building stuff. And I think that you can see, like, I'm building like high level, I'm gluing boxes together. Boxes and lines development is what I'm doing at the moment. I can get in the weeds, but I like to get the easy stuff done, right? And that's what Spring Boot does for me. I can build these apps easily. And then what I'm building now is a multi-service or microservice distributed app, right? I could be running these services on different places. And we can absolutely get into that. So before we do, I'm going to close this IDE because I'm going to overwrite that real quick. Wait, I think that was the UI. Yeah. So we're here. I made that simple UI. I'm going to do this. I'm going to unzip downloads simple UI and replace. Yes. No. So I don't want to go through all of these. But yeah, let's just do Maven wrapper. Let's do it all because I can remember what we changed. So simple UI. Let's open it up. And the things that we changed. So it's going to load up. So right now we don't have a front end, but our back end, all of our services are still up and running. I can close some of these windows. That's cool. I use that. There's my configs. There's my config server. Here's my interface for my config server. It's just a GitHub repository. So I have this auditable set of changes. So if I change something and it breaks production, I don't have to go and rebuild anything or redeploy anything. I go and change the config, hit restart or refresh to go and get the new properties. We're building this authorization server, and we're gonna build another piece. We're gonna build actually two more pieces. Not here. That's okay. We built this, and this is our new UI. So we don't need this one. I'm going to leave that guy there. And we might come back to this. So let's go back to our front end. We have our project. I made some changes. I called. Oh, I have to import. I had. Oh, watch this. We're going to do local history, show history. Here's the changes that I made. Here it is. We added the Spring Cloud config stuff. We added. What did we add? And then now we have security in H2 and Spring Starter Data DB. We didn't have that before. That's interesting. Oh, because it didn't need to. It didn't. This is going to handle some UI. We'll pull that out. We're going to pull that security stuff out. What is this difference? Just a different address. Let's give it a different port, which is fine. Everything else is good. We looked at our local file system and used IDEA to grab those property changes that we made. I can do the same thing here. Local history. Cool. We're just going to add those properties. Those are the ones that we added. I think that's all that we did, right? So let's take a look. Oh, remember, I don't need to do it. It has a default, but it does. So it says something's wrong. Security. What did I do? Unable to find single class from the following candidates. Oh, I made a change when I pulled these in. Dev Deshaun UI application, Dev Deshaun UI simple application. So there is the problem right there. I had 2 copies of it. When I tried to overwrite, I had different package names, so that was a problem. All right, let's try that again. All right, so now it's on. Oh, that was the listener port. So now it says, hey, you got to log in. But I think I can go over here and I can say about. Cool. You don't really have to log in. But why didn't that change? Oh, because it was gone. So let's do that. Find in files. This place. So here, this is how I develop my UI. I develop my UI in Java code. So let's do this. I'm going to do a copy pasta. I don't think I need anything else. I don't know what I'm looking for. A little distracted. Is the music too loud? Let me know if the music's too loud. I want this reading demo. That's not how I want it though. I'm looking for the example, the good example that I want to show. Um, I think I'm gonna try this. If I do private, final string, greeting, let's do message. And this is what I want to place. So I'm gonna make this. This is a the same default about message, but I want to use this value of about message, but I also want to make it configurable. So I've got a same default. So I think we'll do this at value of dollar, sure, about dot message. That works. Is that going to work? I think that's exactly right. So I have my about dot message here, and what I hope. I think this works. I think that's what it is. So what I want to do is I want to give this app simple UI. I want to give it a property about.message. Let's go do that. And our config interface is GitHub. So I don't have one for simple UI. So let's add a file, create a new file, the configurations for simple UI. And I want about message. There we go. That's the value that I want to see. So in order to do that, I think this is right. It's going to get that property. When it goes and asks, let's go take a look. When I go here to local host 8888, and I say, hey, I'm simple UI. Like, what are my properties? It's going to say, hey, you know what? Your about.message is this. So now I'm saying, hey, give me that about.message. It's going to override this one. And it's going to use it right here. I could do another one. But let's just test this one first. Boop. We booped it. Because we have config client, it's going to talk to config server. Config server is already getting that property. Let's do it again. And I got to log in here. But what's up? Oh, I didn't get it. So same default here. How come I didn't go and get that? What did I do? Did I name it? Did I say string application name? I did. So I did that wrong. Please hold. Let me go look at what I did wrong. think that's it. Why did it not? Let me try that again. Here. No. Okay. I want that to be overridden. Is that why? I didn't let it get overridden. It might be. But I'm thinking, but that's not it. I think I have to do. Okay, so it's taking this value, but I don't want it to take that value. There you go. So my sane default property, I want it to be here. Go back here. I want my same default property to be in this one, about dot message. I'm good with that. Okay. So now it's going to look for about dot message. It's going to populate that. I'm hoping that it's going to populate not from here, right? These are properties too. I'm hoping that this property gets overridden by this one. So it's doing its listening thing. It's trying to come up. Ooh, do I have multiple running? Why is it taking so long? What happened? Did I do something? Let's close that. That's exactly what I want. That's exactly what I want. I don't know. Oh, it just took a while. This step, Vaadin is running in development mode. Do not use for production. Okay. So it's like, hey, side nav component production ready, but tweaks to at least the internal DOM will still take place. Okay. So now it's registered. So it did its thing, but it hung on that port, the dev port thing. So now this is running. So now here, cool. Our UI is loaded, but this is the thing. Oh, it didn't get a property. Why didn't it get a property? Why? Let's go up here. I feel like I'm doing something wrong with my at value. Hold on one sec. All right. I'm gonna step away for just a sec. I'm gonna go grab a drink and check on one of my kids, but I will be right back. So let me do this. Let me put a banner. Not stream ending, not stream. I'm gonna be right back. So let me just make one of these. Because I am going to stream. Let's do this. Boom. Add. Show it. I'll be right back. While we're doing that, I'll show this. Oh, but look at the about doesn't show the user either. Okay. Let's show this. And oh, sorry about that. I will be right back.
No fear anymore. Why the smile on your face? Don't fake it. You don't have to pretend. What a fear in your eyes will make it. Just take a chance. The thing that haunts you, leave it behind you. The ones that love you, let them guide you. Everything will be alright. Through the darkness, through the night, no fear anymore. No fear anymore.
And I'm back. All right. So we can hide this. We've got our simple UI. And what we were doing just a minute ago was we were trying to get our config. Let's go take a look at this spring. I'm doing something simple. I'm missing something simple. So let's go take a look at the docs, because the docs are amazing. Quick start, good, done, properties. Yep, that's it. Client side usage. Hey, yes, I said I'm a client. We're doing those things. And yes, hello, good. Bring me my stuff. Here's my application name. I want those properties. So we get them. And the server. And there we go. Not the server. I want to go down here. Here, config first. That's what we're doing. Instance, grab it. We're not trying to fail or anything. We just want properties. So we get them. Oh, I know what I did. I didn't put a config. I didn't say, hey, yeah, this is where I'm doing the configuration. So I have to do that. I think that's all I need. Like, hey, we have configs. Like, you have to help us get configured. I think that's all that I did. I think that's all I missed. And there's other ways. Like, the better pattern is to have like a property file that keeps track of all the properties. It still didn't work. What did I do? What am I doing? Right, this is kind of what we have. Wait, but that's nested keys in Vault. Vault, what? Oh, I don't need that. Let's see, Spring. I know we have an example. And I'm missing something silly. Spring.io. Projects. Spring Boot. Web. Let me see. Learn. Reference dot. Yeah, I'm embarrassed. I'm a little embarrassed here that I'm not doing this right. Properties. Hello. No. All right. I think I want this. Automatically expand properties at build time. Blah, blah, blah. What am I doing wrong? App.name. App.description. Okay, that's great. Okay. All right. Where is my simple example? Good. What am I looking for? I'm looking for that value. But I want to, yeah, like, what am I doing wrong? This is because I'm tired. It's way past my bedtime. Done. Did I name it wrong? Like, I'm not doing anything wrong. So is it because of the title? Maybe it could be anything. Okay, so I didn't do that. It should. I should get it. I don't know why I'm not. Unless I remove something specific. So I don't need that. I have this value should get about.message in this string and down here. Did I do it right? Let me look at what I replaced. Hello. Oops. What was it before that? Right there. Yeah, it's just a string. That's what I want. I want to replace that string with this property. Why isn't it working? So this, I'm making it look a lot more difficult than it is. I'm missing something silly. About.message. I have about.message here. Why isn't it even getting that one is the thing. I hope it's not. something simple. It should be getting those properties. It's not. What? Let's do it this way. This is why we do it, right? I forget how to do these things, even though I've done them before. I want to. You got to practice. You got to keep on practicing and do this. That's our job. We can't make it. That's our job. Yeah, we can't make it look easy. We don't want just anybody being able to do our job. No, this is. I need to practice doing these things because sometimes I forget. So I had a constructor here, and I was trying to put this property outside of the constructor, but I didn't give it away to get create initialized. So let's try this again. We're going to that instance about. Absolutely. This is wonderful. So then let's do that one more time. Right? Let's practice it. And we're going to do the what just happened there? Here's my string. Not special. Boop. That's it. Okay. And then I want to use about special down here. So I'm going to copy this over to my application properties. And this is about special. Boop. Can I do it this way? I think. Okay. All right. Great place to go to UI. Done. And in that view, we want it to be the about special. But I want that to be from config. I have a same default here, but I want to do the configuration. So I'm going to go back to my configure. Hey, look at this. Oh, we're at that time. We're at that time. I got the whole gang. I got Funky Waddle here. I got Lescat here. So this is great. Great. I'm glad you're here. Wonderful. Thanks for joining. I'm just building stuff. I had no goal. Building stuff. I'm kind of taking all the things that I do with Spring and Spring Boot, and I'm just kind of like throwing it up against the wall and see what sticks. Trying to practice some of the things that I talk about. Right? I know it's easy. I've done it before, but I want to practice. So what we just got done doing is we're making these configurable properties. If I take this application, this simple UI application, and I want to run it, I want to test it, I'm going to develop it locally. But when I take that app, I want to send it to QA, and I want them to test the exact same app. But that app might have different configurations in the QA environment. In the QA environment, it might say things. They might want to say, hey, we're in QA. But I want the code to be the same. So simple configurations make it configurable, but the artifact that we pass from dev to test to stage to prod. We want that artifact to stay the same. So what I'm demonstrating right now is a way of getting those configurations. So I've got the Spring Cloud config client, and I've also got a Spring Cloud config server up and running. And that server, when it comes up, it's reaching out. I'm going to close this window and this window. These are my failed attempts. And I had to go back to the docs in order to remind myself. My server is here, localhost 8888. I have this simple UI. It calls this server. So when it comes up, it asks this server on localhost 88 for, let me get some configs. I'm the simple UI at, give me your defaults. And this is what it gets. It says, hey, from this file in this repository, it's getting this about.message. We did that. We tested it. We're adding a new one. And this is how I do it. I'm going to this same file. I can go, I can go this way. dev.deshawn.config. And I'm going to edit. These are the configurations for Simple UI for the front end. I'm going to edit that. I'm going to give it one more property. The about special. And I'm going to say, it's a great time to be a Spring developer. Over there. Okay, so I commit that change. This is the UI. I made this change. It's auditable. It's in a git config. So if I broke it, if this is the change that breaks it, I can just roll it back. Let's close that. Oh, let's go back and show. Now I go back to localhost 88 and I say, hey, you know what? I'm simple UI. What are my configs? As well, actually, localhost 88 simple. What happened? Simple UI default. Oh, it was loading the new config. I bet. Well, let's go take a look. That's going a lot. It's taking a lot longer than it should. Let's go take a look at what's happening to our config server that's just running. It says there's something here. Oh, there's a typo. So it puked on my configs. But guess what? I can just go edit that config. Zoink. Commit that change. This is what we're doing. Now let's go ask, hey, config server, can I have some configs? And it says, yes. Yes. From this file, you're going to get, it's a great time to be a Spring developer, about that message and about that special. And the defaults that you're getting from the default application.yaml, everybody gets, you can override them. This is what you're getting. So now, cool. That's what I will get when I ask, when I say, hey, I'm Simple UI. So let's go to Simple UI. Right, last time we've got that. We have the same default here in the application properties. That's what we'll ship. So if some environment didn't have that set, okay, it's got the same default. But it's overridable. The different environments can override. Funky Waddle says this is also kind of close to how you do internationalization, right? Just a pointer from an English config to yes. Yes, I can put my internationalization in this same space. Absolutely right. Very similar. So that you bring up a good point. So back in the long ago, the internationalization, the files that you have, like you have a property.Spanish, property.Russian, etc. We actually shipped those in our artifacts. This, I think, is a better way of asking for those configs. I can get them all. The app, I can get all of the translations pulled down via config. And I can store those, and those will be strings, and they'll be stored in a heap, but I have them. But then I can change my translations without having to change to do a deployment. So this is just one example of why I might do that. So yeah, Leskin says, yeah, I usually ship them in the artifacts. Well, if I I ship them as configs, if I put them in my Git repository, those translations can stay in the repository. My artifacts are smaller. They're going to put, there's a little bit, depending on the size of your application, there's a little bit that's going over the wire. But the trade-off is I don't have to do a redeploy when I get new translations. Right. Sometimes, hey, I translated this phrase, it goes out, and that phrase comes back, and oh, that translation didn't really match up with what you said, right? It didn't really fit the context. So we need to change it. It's going to say this instead. I don't want to have to go through that week or that long process of making a new artifact just to change the translation. Nobody's out there testing. They're not going to do a QA validation on that translation. We're going to change that translation. I don't have to do a redeploy. Somebody can go in and validate that language and then go from there. They can see, hey, do those words in that language fit what's on the page? That's good. Yep. Also easier to have multiple people to work on translations and even make it a public thing. Yes. So when you get to, like a open source project where you can put your configs, you can put those out and hey, here's our translations. Here's where we use. The interesting part is where you might have submit, right? Your button that closes the form. And you might use, I already have that translated, but where it's being used, the context doesn't always fit. So translations, we could go for days on how you pick the right things and you make sure that the contexts are right. There's translation services that you can send those things to and they'll fix, but you want to have some way of making sure that what's being translated fits with the context. Just words don't always translate one-to-one in different languages with how you're going to deploy them. Well, you mean you can't just use ChatGPT to do all the human language translations for you? I'm sure somebody's trying to do that. And I'm sure there are, right, there's services, but at scale, right? It always comes down to at scale, what are we trying to do? We want to have this translated. You know what, that might be a good example. So let's do this. Let's take a look. Let's do Spring Cloud config. Internationalization. I'm going to look at this one. So Spring Messages base name. Service fallback to system locale. So Spring Boot supports localized messages so that your application can cater to users different. By default, Spring Boot looks for a presence of a messages resource bundle at the root of the class path. The auto configuration applies when, so let's go to the new docs. This makes sense. And I believe this is what I was doing in the past is we took that message resources bundle, we were turning into properties files, and then we were delivering it with our app. But this, I think, is a better way. So because we were always getting new translations, right? It was lots of languages. So let's try this. Let's deliver an international version. I'm going to do Spanish, and you guys tell me which other language we should do, and let's see if we can make this work. So I'm going to spring.io. While you guys think of a language, I'm going to go to Spring Boot. I'm going to go to Spring Boot and learn the docs. And I'm going to do this internationalization, core features. There it is here. So let's read that. Spring Boot, same message. Spring Boot supports localized messages so that your application can cater to users of different languages. By default, it looks for the presence of messages resource bundle at the root of the class path. The auto configuration applies when the default properties file for the configured resource bundle is available. Messages.properties by default. If your resource bundle contains only language-specific properties files, you are required to add the default. If no properties file is found that matches any of the configured base names, there will be no auto-configured message source. So the base name of the resource bundle, as well as several other attributes, can be configured using the spring.messages namespace. All right, so if I say spring.messages, base name messages, I'm going to put these in here. I'm going to take these and I'm going to grab these properties. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to keep on going here, but I'm going to take this and I'm going to put it into my config as a default. So, hey, everybody, I want you to know that here's how we're going to do configs. Here's how we're going to handle internationalization. Spring messages. The base name is messages, and this is how we're doing it. We're going to fall back to system locale. True. Okay. Let's do that. That's it. So we haven't done any translations. We're not doing anything. Gaelic, Danish. All right. Of course, I wouldn't be able to tell you if it's correctly translated. We'll use Google. I'll let you help me and we'll come up with it together. So let's do that. But I want an example. So let's go Spring Boot International example guide. I don't like these. That's the exact same. So we'll go take a look at this. I'm not happy about it. Cool. Locale resolver. In order for our application to be able to determine which locale is currently in use, we need a locale resolver bean. Okay, that makes sense. The locale resolver interface has implementations that determine the current locale based on session, cookies, accept language header, or a fixed value. In our example, we've used the session-based resolver, session locale resolver, and set a default locale. So let's throw one of these beans in there. That sounds like we're going to need that. And what we're going to do is we're only going to do it for, oh, look at this. I can translate the Danish. Let's go. So we're going to throw in this. We're going to follow this blindly, even though it's probably outdated. We're going to go into here. We're going to add a bean here for locale resolver. Spring Web. I think that's doable. That's good. So we have a new session locale resolver. So it's going to be based on my session. And it has a default locale of US. Okay, that makes sense. The locale resolver has implementations that determine the current locale based on session, cookies, the accept language header. Or a fixed value. Session based. So maybe I want the accept language header. Let's try that. So this is a new, not this one. That was default. Accept. Yeah. So we're going to do it based on the accept header so we can validate. That makes sense, right? Does that sound like a good idea? So that we can say, hey, yep, I accept these languages. I accept header. The locale change interceptor. Next, we need to add an interceptor bean that will switch to a new locale based on the value of the lang parameter when present on the request. In order for this bean to take effect, we need to add it to the application's interceptor registry. Okay. To achieve this, our @configuration class has to implement the web MVC configure interface and override the @interceptors method. Okay. All right. So first, I need this. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to go back here, and I'm going to just put all this up here. I'm going to take this out, even though I know this is kind of specific to right here. We're going to make it not specific. So let's bring it up here. And we're going to throw that bean up top. Okay. We got it. Yep. I'm sorry about that, guys. All we're doing is just moving where we're putting the configs. And I'm putting up here so I can see kind of the changes. Right. Got it. And then I'm adding this locale change interceptor. Good. Actually, I can do it this way. Our configuration class. I can make a config this way. And it says has to implement web MVC configure. And override the add interceptors method. Fantastic. All right, so what we think is we can resolve based on the accept header, and we'll change if we need to. So this says the locale change interceptor, cool, set param name lang. All right, we're going to get to that in just a sec. So now we define the message sources. By default, blah, 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 it looks less straight in source main resources. So typically the files for each locale will be named messages, blah, 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 properties, where XX is a locale code. We can also define a fallback messages.properties. However, the fallback file should not be considered related to the default locale. They are two separate concepts. Wait, the fallback file should not be considered related. Oh, okay. The fallback doesn't have to be the default. Okay. The default locale is a locale to default to when the requested locale is unavailable. Got it. On the other hand, the fallback file is a place to look up properties when the locale translation fails. Got it. If a key does not exist in a specific locale file, then the application will simply fall back to the fallback file. Perfect. The keys for the values that will be localized have to be the same in every file. The values appropriate to the language they correspond to. For instance, let's define English properties and the property messages.properties. Lang. Oh, got it. Okay. So now let's do this. So now I said that, hey, I want these configs to come from my config server. So what I'm going to do here is first, I'm going to have same defaults. So let's make a message.properties, and this goes in source main resources. Source. Let's keep on going. Git mapping, baboon. I want to see where they're getting that value. Since, yeah. So there's got to be a way. I want to. I want to know how to do that same thing. Okay. I'm not going to put these in a message.resources. When I go over here to Spring. Oh, man, ads. Oh. Yeah, so if everything fails, do the fallback one. Oh, man, ads. Yeah. So here's the thing. Let's do this. There's a way. Nope, I'm going to go this way. So, well, let's just do it this way. Let's start simple. Let's make sure that we're doing it. I am so sorry for the ads. Thanks for letting me know in the chat. So I paused it. I haven't done anything since you're gone. What we're going to do is I'm not going to use this message on properties. I'm going to get rid of that. That's the default. Okay. That's the default. What I think is that I get the same experience by doing this in my config. So again, I haven't done it. I'm going over here to Spring.io. I'm going to go to Spring Cloud. And I'm going to go to config. Go to the docs. And I'm going to see if it does not. I felt like there's a way for me to do this, but it might be this way. It might be that I delivered serving binary files. Okay. So in order to serve binary files from the config server, you will need to send an accept header of application octet stream. So with Git SVN and native backends, consider the following example for Git SVN: application YAML nginx.conf. So here, the nginx might resemble the following listing. Okay. Application YAML might resemble the following listing. Okay. The sample default master might be as follows. Sample development master might be so. Okay. That makes sense. But I want to consume. So I've done this and I forget. Embedded in the config server. I don't need to do that. Let's go here. How did I do that? So the example that I was wanting to do before, I wanted to, what was the example that I used and how did I do it? So you can see the problem. You can see the problem that we're trying to accomplish. I want to serve my message resource bundles from Spring Cloud Config. No. Spring Cloud Config. Let's see what this is. No, this is going to be the. Right. That's what we want. Maybe. Let's see if they. Locale. Steps for internationalization. Resolve locale. They did that. That's the same. That's the same. But what we want is these resource bundles. So they're just putting into source main resources. That's not what I want to do. So I could fill this in. Redefine the path for storing the message files for the support language. Okay, no. That's not what I want. We did there. Yeah, I want to do it. And maybe that's too much. Maybe that's too much for me to take on right now, but I feel like it's worth it. look at my buddy Dan Vega. Let's see. Oh, that one's. Oh man, come on, Dan. Sitting. Okay. I want to. Let's just do this example. Let's do the internationalization first. But I didn't want it. I don't want it to come from message.properties. I guess let's do it. Let's do the simple example. Get it to work, and then we'll fix it later. So what we're going to do is we're going to move these. Right. I think this will work. We're just going to move these over to message.properties. And maybe not. Let's go back here. Message.properties. Boom. So we're going to make a message.properties. What is the locale code for Danish and Gaelic? Locale. And if you guys know it already, throw it in there. Locale codes for Gaelic. Irish language code. Scottish, Gaelic. That's what we want. Scottish, Irish, no, Scottish, Gaelic. This one. The language, the base locality. I think that's what we want. So we made a message properties. We're going to copy that to message underscore this. Oops. Dot properties. And it's DA for Danish. DADK. Boom. All right, so let's do that. Let's make a resource bundle messages in here. Let's refactor. Copy to message underscore DADK. Okay. So they don't have to be the exact same, right? So message properties. This is our English version. But remember that point back here where we were saying, hey, we have a default locale and we have a fallback file. So the fallback file, we defined message property. We can also define a fallback. So that's message.properties is our fallback file. And we should make, yeah, we can leave it. And this will be our default and our fallback. And I think that's how we defined it. So now let's do this same default for application properties. What do we want to say in Danish for this message? Can you give me a quote? Give me something. Help me translate. It doesn't have to be the exact same. Let's just do one in Danish. Give me 2 messages and I'll show you where they go. So here, hello. Where's our app? It's almost close. 80 about. Oh, I didn't have it started. That's silly. Let's start it. We've got message properties. I'm taking this out. I took the defaults out of here. And I think that my view, my about view page, I think that it will get that about.message from the message resources. So I need 2 Danish messages, and I'm going to show you where they go. And I think, if I just put those properties in, so this is where they go. We have we have, this is the message, and then this is the special. So I have about that message and about that special. Give me something Danish. And Funky Waddle, why don't you, okay, so here's the first one. I'm gonna assume that that's safe for family viewing. And that's gonna be the about one. In my message properties for Danish. Egg. Elsker package. And oh, okay. Can I capitalize spring here? All right. Sweet. Harmless. Wonderful. Thank you. All right. So that's our Danish properties. And maybe Funky Waddle has stepped away. So let's do a quick Google Translate and get our other values. Google Translate. Gaelic. We want to Scots Gaelic, English. No, we want English and then Scots Gaelic, yes. It's a great time to be a Spring developer. Copy. Hopefully that translation works. Somebody will tell us for sure, right? And then teamwork makes the dream work in Gaelic. All right, now we have properties. We have our defaults, English. We've got our Danish and Gaelic. All right, and we know what those headers look like. So let's stop, drop, and roll. And let's run it again. And I'm going to do something magic here. I'm going to do something magic. Here's what I want to do. I'm going to build this into an image. Can I do this? I want to build this into an image and I want to make it available for you. Can I do this real quick? Here's how I'll do it. So I have this thing here. I've got about. Now, if I want to, I think I can go over here to my tools, developer tools. I don't know how to do it. Maybe here, settings. Here we go. Here we go, language. I can say, hey, I want Gaelic. Okay, I'm not seeing it. Okay, let's try Danish. Danish, okay? So, requires reload. Okay. How do I apply? Can I just refresh? I changed it here. I should probably be careful because if I change my language, let's do that in. I don't have a different browser. Oh, here, let's do it this way. Let's be safe. Let's not mess up my stuff. Here, we'll do it this way. No, but I want to show it. Do I have another browser that I can use? Just in case. I'm looking to see. Yes, get rid of all that stuff. I think I have another browser option here somewhere. I'm looking. I'll move this over here. Applications. Do I have a Chrome? I don't have Google Chrome. Do I have what's the other one? Oh, Safari. All right, I don't care if I mess up Safari. So let's go to localhost 8080. Whoops, 8080 / about, and Safari has a developer tools, right? Settings, websites, no, advanced. Where would it be? Where would I change the locale? That's encoding. I want to change locale settings. Come on. This shouldn't be that hard. Safari, change language. That's for my Mac. I just want to do it in Safari. No, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to do it for my whole app. All right, let's do this. Language header. Feel free to, okay, accept language. Accept language, boom. Okay, multiple types. We're going to do this. Copy. So let's first do this. Do I have links? Through so links. Oops. Come on. Is that right? What's the or is it links? LINKS. LINKS browser. We're gonna see this. Links, yes. I'm gonna install links. Links. Maybe this is the right one. Maybe it's not. Okay, perfect. I want to go to localhost 8080 about. And it's not working. I tried. No, we can't see anything. Okay. All right. Let's try again. Language, workspace. here we go. Custom locations. Edits. DA, DK. I don't know what time zone I add. Gaelic. It is, what do we say? It's like GB, GA, GB, GD, GB, GD, GB. Add. Okay, so can I switch locations? Do I see a way to change my location? Looking. Other. No. Source performance every application. Local storage. No, let's try it again. Console sources. Network. Maybe it's this. It says locations. How do I change my location? Okay, how do I Chrome Brave change location? I really want this to work now. So again, nothing that I had planned for tonight. How do I change my GPS location? Use an EVN. I had Chrome Extension Location Guard. You can do this, the Vitalics. Nope, I don't care about that. I want to Brave change locale. Testing. How do I change my language? Brave interface stuck to my OS regional settings language. Settings, additional settings language. Nothing changes. I need to put the language I want at the top right. How is it reproduced? No, you need to click 3 dots menu next to language. You choose show Brave in this language. Click 3 dots menu next to language. You choose. Oh, that's not it. That's going to do the translation. Thanks for the confirmation. I'm on a Mac. Settings, additional languages. Yep, you should see something that looks like this. Yes. To add another language, we did. If you'd like websites to offer translate a page that isn't your default. Oh, okay. I see what they're saying. They're saying something different. So I want this. Is that here. Show, search, more tools. Animations, changes, coverage, issues, performance, rendering. Man, there's got to be a way to do this. Okay, maybe it's not even in here. I'm here. I've got new Brave History bookmarks, downloads, extensions, sync. No. Danish profile. appearance. She goes, man, I'm sure that this people that do this. Oh, here we go. Languages. This language, when translating pages, Danish, add. I want to move this to the top. Okay. Danish first. We're closed. 8080. Out. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Ah. I was here. Profile 1. Danish profile. It didn't change. I would like to configure that Danish profile. Danish profile, edit. So language will show your content in the preferred language when possible. So I expect that that's sending, you know what, and I can validate that. I can go here and I can say, now I can say more tools, developer tools. Did you send that header? So yeah, we're outside of the Spring Boot stuff. But when I ask for about my request headers, accept language, look at there. I did. I sent it. So I sent it. So that didn't work. When I did the accept language of DA, it did not work. It should be here. So maybe let me do this. Let's just try it. This refactor, rename. No, let's do this. Refactor, copy, DA. And then let's go ahead and do that again. So I've got a message bundle. I've got some stuff. We're doing Danish right now. We're hoping to do Danish. We did send that header that says, where I saw it, it said accept language, about. But it still didn't do it. So here, more tools, developer tools. Refresh in my Danish. When I ask for about, my request headers, accept language is DA, but it didn't work. Okay, so at least we're doing this. Oh. I'm gonna wait for you to get back. I'm waiting. So let me know when you're back. I can wait. I can wait. I appreciate you. I can wait. I'm not gonna do anything. Let me know when you're back. I'll drink some water. Thanks for letting me know about the ads. I'm pretty sure I have it set. But you know what? You had ads 30 minutes ago. Is that doing ads every 30 minutes? I don't know. 5 ads is crazy. How long was the ads? But was it 5 ads? Because it looks like you're only gone for a minute. Listen. Internationalization. We're sending the right header. Let's go back to our other window. And let's see if they gave us a way of setting that header on the way in. Oh, I don't want to do that. I want to pass in and show. Okay. Yeah, I was typing something in the other monitor. I didn't type ads right when they came in. Okay, 15 to 20 seconds. I think I have it set. I'd have to reach out to Flunky Waddle and see if he knows how to make the ads set. There's a minimum that they require. I'll have to reach out and see if I have it set up right. So that looks like it's right. Let's take a look here. The number of beans implementing is 0. Cannot use spring beans, falling back to the default behavior. What is this? I didn't see anything about this I-18N provider. Did I stop reading too soon? Concepts. We got our properties. Controller. Let's create a controller. We did. That will return simple HTML page called international. We want to see it in 2 different languages. Okay. Since we're using time leaf to display the related to the locale, specific values will be accessed using the keys. Oh, so slightly different key. So here, instead of dollar, I think I want this. Is what it looks like. Oh wait, or that's a timely thing. That's a timely thing. That's not a Spring Boot thing. Yeah, I don't think I need that. So boink, 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 boink. Awesome. No worries. Here we go. Let's keep trucking. I want to get this. This would be a nice little reminder. So we have this. We're getting, the thing is, we're getting those about messages. Let's take a look. Configured from config service. So it's getting it from the config service. This value isn't coming from here. It's coming from the config service. Let's see if I can do this. Spring Boot. Let's go this way. Sometimes this is easier. Let's search for, let's search for the thing that we were doing that we have here. All right, let's see where somebody's doing a locale change interceptor code. Yeah, let's see what they're doing. Okay, same thing. String utils parse locale. Okay, so they're just getting the locale value. Let's see if they have any use. Let's look. I'm looking to see where I might find. I wish I could watch the end, but I got to go over and work out and then head to bed. Thank you so much for coming. It's good. It was great to see you. Thanks for joining. I appreciate you. I forget, I've been streaming at different times of the day, but I forgot, we've been doing these kind of late night streams in the past, and I'm glad you're here. Thanks so much for joining. I really appreciate you. Take care. I do appreciate you, and I hope to see you again soon. Thanks. All right, let's see if we can get this. I want something where I can show like an alert. Maybe that's not the best. Let's keep on trying. We're going to find a way. Not that. Let's do Spring Boot. Yeah. There's got to be a good one. Not that one. I wish I had. Let's go to Dan. And we saw it. It showed up, but it was just at a different URL. I bet. So let's look at. Oh, it's not even showing up in the search. No, that's not the one. This blog. Sorry, it was from 2017. So I can at least go, oh, I bet he's redone this a few times. But I saw the URL was from 2017. So let's go. All right. Next page. I don't remember what the date was. I just remember it was 2017. Oh, here. No, that wasn't it. It was a question from students. I like his topics. I had to work with this guy. I'm not seeing it. So maybe it was something that doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's there. That's okay. We'll keep on looking. Oh, this is real new. So let's take a look. Again, I don't know these things. I'm learning. I'm just practicing. Things make sense. Ooh. Interesting. Okay. Okay, that looks good. Added dependencies. All right, we're not going to do that. Adding translation files. We did that. Wait, create a new lang directory. Okay. Message properties. Messages IT. Okay. Okay, so our messages base name, what we did add that property. So let's go back and make sure that we're pointing in the right spot. Location. Ooh. GitHub.com. Remember, I made that change. GitHub.com. Deshawn.config. And I made it in application.yaml. I said, hey, my message base name is messages. Okay. Does that match? Spring.messages.base name lang messages. When naming translation files, you have to follow the same naming rules as used by Java 18 is built in. So the default resource file should simply have this base name, for example, messages.properties or res.properties. Additional resource files must name the following: base name, underscore locale. Regional suffix are supported as well: base name, locale, regional. Okay, testing it out. Let's see how this resource bundle message source works. Cool. Source main blah, blah, blah. File, add the following. Resource bundle, base name. I don't need to do that. Oh, that's a good example, right? But I can do that. Okay, let's do that simple example. So, hey, we're here. That's just going to validate the resource bundle. I'm not going to set the base name. I'm going to set the default encoding, and I'm going to say hello. But I'm going to add this hello over here. Let's see how we say hello. Hello. That's in Gaelic. And in Danish, hopefully. Danish. Hello. Yep. And also here. Okay. So now we do this, and we're going to say, hey, I want to start up, and I want to say hello in locale. Dot. Why don't I have the other? Lame. I don't want those for language. Maybe not. Yep. Let's do it. DA. Hello. We're trying to do these translations that we started. We went down a rabbit hole. We're trying to do it. DADK. DA-DK. All right. And we're hoping that shows up. So let's do it. All right. And we ran into a problem. No message found under code hello for locale. Hello for locale. DADK. Oh, I know why. Because I did this. Let's take this property, right? And let's edit this. Let's edit this back. I was doing too much at once. Okay, let's try that again. No, still okay. So I'm doing something wrong. I have this message bundle. Oh, is it supposed to be messages? Let's go look. Let's look at this example. Was that message? Messages. Let's try. Writer rename. Yes. Okay, let's try that. No message found under code hello for locale DADK. It's definitely there. So what am I doing wrong? Let me scoot. Okay, let's go back and take a look. Let's see what it says. Resource, I didn't do this message source. Because I didn't think I needed to. Let's see. Let's try that. There it is. Okay. And now let's switch. Did we get it working in our other browser? No. Did I pass in? Yes. So okay. So we gotta go another step. We're not quite done. Okay. I said I wanted to use the accept header. Create a new file, my beans config. Cool. Locale resolver. Default time zone. Is implemented using Spring's built-in cookie locale resolver. We also set the default locale and time zone here. Add a locale change interceptor. Okay. Now make sure the interceptor properly intercepts all incoming requests. We should add it to the Spring interceptor registry. We do that here. We did that. Interceptor and add interceptor. We did. Now we create a controller. This is now what we want to do. So now let's add a get mapping to our, we'll add the following hello controller. Okay. And return hello. Oh no, there's the view. And the view should get that property. Switch language. Okay, main things to note, we declare time namespace. Fetch the translations using th text, right? That's just here. Okay. And it's getting those just from regular properties. add the locale switchers upon clicking the button. Test. Scour Spring. Okay, let's skim through a few more features that could turn out to be useful. Okay. In order to handle pluralization, we can take the help of Spring ICU library. Well, that's cool. Also make sure to add repositories before dependencies. Oh, that's where you get it. Okay. Gradle. Okay. Secondly, add a plural property. Note that this follows format. Neat. Okay. Translation management system takes care of all your Spring Boot apps. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. Well, cool. Thanks for that. That was a good advertisement. So I didn't get to where I wanted to go. Let's think about this. If I'm here in my view, I'm getting these properties, but I'm loading those at config time. So they're not coming from here. They're coming from config. But I wonder how I would do that. I'm gonna look one more time, and then I'll scoot. So let's go to Spring Cloud config. Because I have this ability to set up so plain text. Is a path to a file name. The source files for this endpoint are located in the same way. Okay, that's all right. We'll come back. I'm okay with taking a loss. We might come back to that later. So let's go back. We have a UI. I tried to do the internationalization. I want to do the internationalization from configs. So that's something I'm going to come back to. But we have this app that's up and running. And Now it's actually got some configs, some security. So let's go take it. Says logging user. Okay, now there. I don't want to say that. Now I can see this page. Okay, that still works. So let's talk about this login. Hello world route alias rolls out user. Login view. What I want to do here is I want to look at the application properties and what is this? No, that's okay. There we go. Security. Authenticated user. User details service. See, that's all over this granted authority. Yeah, I'm going to do some quick Google here. Do Vaadin Spring Authorization Server. So that's the login, but I want it to let's take a look. Maybe not exactly what I want. Let's do this. This session. Yeah.
In the darkness. My shadows, they follow you like an accomplice. Lost all of your dreams, the night is harder. My shadows, they follow you. My shadows, they follow you in the darkness.
Bakery starter. NFL Independencies. Session Redis. Finally configure application properties. Spring session store type. Okay, let's do that. So this is just I'm putting a session here. Cool. Let's give it to him. I'm going to trust my POM and my dependencies here. Go on the top. Hello. That's all I need. Then I want to give it Redis. So what's my best way to do that? Obviously, it's a Docker image. And I've got an example that I like. Oh, hello, where's my cursor? You're seeing what I'm seeing. I was trying to copy something to another screen. And I don't have a cursor. This is what happens when you have all the computers connected. Oh, there we go. Let's go look here. Oh, I don't have it here. I can do it here. Really? I have it here. Just take this Docker Compose file. Let's go back to the stream. Oh. Let's go back to our UI. Let's make this Docker Compose file. And I'm not going to do, this is just going to be for the session. I'm okay with that for now. Okay, run in the background. All right, so now we're taking that example. We just got to get the Spring Data Redis. Properties. Host 6379. Spring Data. Okay. And do this, W. And now I'll have a session. I can close this. This, we'll just make sure user. Cool. So now I have a session that I can go peek at. What else do I need? So what I'd like is for that UI to be able to log into the authorization server. That'd be fun. I think so. If I'm here, except I've got the different ports. So here's what I'll do. So now let's step back and Let's see if I can make this happen. I'm not going to stay much longer. I have a thing to do. But let's call it good. I'm going to get some rest. What we did was we connected a bunch of things. We used Spring Cloud services, Spring Cloud. We did discovery. We did config. We got sidetracked on internationalization, but we had fun. We watched some commercials. I like this. I want to do it again. And I want to do it faster. I just want to practice these reps. So I'm not going to pick up from where we left off. The next time I do this, I'll do it from zero again. So feel free to join. If you liked it, yeah, I'd love to see you subscribe. Thanks.